guys, Midnight Strike here, and today I'm going to be reviewing something that I missed, something that I actually alluded to in my ACDC collection video. Yes, I finally got it. It's ACDC Live at River Plate. And this was released last year, even though the concerts were recorded in 2009. And, well, this is their third official live album, the other two being If You Want Blood, You've Got It, with original lead singer Bon Scott, right after Dave Evans, and ACDC Live, which was released in 1992 with Brian Johnson as well. And it sounds very similar, vocal-wise, to the present-day incarnation of ACDC. So, to get into it, I have the 2-disc set, comes with 2 discs, obviously, and as always in ACDC's little CDs, they come with a little booklet, and unlike, in contrast to the Epic remasters, this one just has some band photos like that. So, with the track list right here, as you can see, some concert photos. There's Phil Rudd, drums. But there are a lot of things on this album that I want to point out, because I actually missed this album. I mean, I knew they went to Live at River Plate, but I never went, sought it out, I guess, because it was live, and I didn't really care for AC/DC Live that much, but then I decided, hey, I have everything, why not? It's actually pretty good, surprisingly. But there are a few shortcomings on songs like, here, let me pull up a track list quick. And songs like, Back in Black, Thunderstruck, it sounds like he's got down-tuned guitars a little bit. Angus toned down his guitar, especially in the intro. I don't know if it's to accommodate for Brian's singing or for just anything else, because the vocals, I know I keep bringing that up, but the vocals are one of those things that you really have to accommodate for, especially in the instrumentals, in speed and tone, so, and everything else, and pace. But, Dog Eat Dog is another one. Brian's vocals sound a little bit flat, and, TNT, the vocals are fine, but, the production of, like, the instruments, it sounds really hollow. It doesn't have as much energy, as much, raw feel and angst as it did in, say, this one, right here. This one thing I did love about this album is it had epic production. Some of the best production I've ever seen on a live album, actually. So, maybe save Metallica's Live in Seattle '89, but that wasn't actually an official live album, so this is probably best production on a live album ever. So it actually, it's raw, it's really energetic, it's got a lot of bass to it, it's got a lot of kick, and it just sounds good. So on this one, however, in Live in River Plate, the production sounds kind of hollow, especially in the instruments. I mean, there are some songs that sound really good, like Shoot to Thrill sounds amazing, actually, especially in the beginning with the instruments part. But the overall production, the overall feel of this album is they're getting older, and that's actually the inevitable truth, is, yeah, they're getting older. And while Brian Johnson does have better vocals on this album, he sounds like he's pacing himself a little bit more. He sounds like he's actually singing it versus just yelling it and belting out and trying to force it. Basically what I'm trying to get at is it feels less forced. But it lacks the raw punch that the older live album had. But at the same time, it does sound a little bit more melodic, and that too is a good thing. So basically, it's a trade-off. I like them both. Not really a big fan of either live album, but I'm just not really a big fan of AC/DC Live that much, unless it's with Bon Scott. But, yeah. Overall, I would say, pretty good album. Pretty good, pretty decent concert, one of their better ones in recent years. This was recorded in 2009, so about 4 years ago now. And you know, while some people might not consider that recent, I really do, because really technically they've sounded like very similar for the past 20 years. So that's another thing. A lot of people consider them sounding the same. I think they've sounded the same since Ballbreaker, but that's just me. A couple issues I had with this track, or with this album, were Let There Be Rock. That's probably my biggest issue. The solo, I mean, like, Let There Be Rock on If You Want Blood, You've Got It lasted for like 8 or 9 minutes, and it was actually reasonably paced. It had a decent solo on it, and by Angus Young, but on this one, the solo lasts for 10 extra minutes. I mean, the original song is on Let There Be Rock, you know, the album, and it's 6 minutes and 6 seconds, but this right here is 18 minutes and 6 seconds. So an extra 12 minutes of filler? I mean, you can make like 3 songs out of that. So, I mean, I know Angus wants to be in the spotlight, and that's kind of his thing, but I mean, it's a little bit too much for my taste on this song. Anyways, everything else about the song is pretty phenomenal, pretty spectacular for this concert, but my only problem with this song, like I said, is it drags on and on and on. Yeah, I like listening to a solo, but after like 2 or 3 minutes, it starts to wear on me, and it starts to lose my attention. And that's one of those things, you know, you gotta get someone's attention with the solo. You gotta keep their attention. So that's one thing that ACDC fails to do on this track, and that's one of my biggest gripes with it. So songs, you know, my favorite songs on this album is for live anyways. Favorite live tracks would probably have to be Highway to Hell, Whole Lotta Rosie, War Machine, Rock and Roll Train. Obviously, those are their most recent ones, are Rock and Roll Train and War Machine off of Black Ice. So Hell Ain't a Bad Place to Be was great, Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap, and obviously Black Ice. I love the riff in Black Ice. It just sounds so catchy. I mean, one of the catchiest riffs I've ever heard. Just, you know, Black Ice and All I Was by Mark Tremonti. Black Ice by AC/DC, All I Was. Those are 2 of the most catchy riffs I've ever heard. I love that bit. You know, I love it. So, the only thing that brings down Black Ice are the lyrics, in my opinion. But, then again, hey, that's not on this album. That's not for this album. This is live at River Plate. So, pretty decent album, pretty decent live effort. I don't know. I enjoyed listening to it, actually, so that's got to count for something. Overall, I'd probably rate this album an 8 out of 10. Solid 8 out of 10. Solid effort by the Thunder from Down Under, AC/DC. And if you guys want to check out my collection video, I actually have a really, really huge AC/DC collection. So, a few posters, shirts. I have their entire discography in physical formats. I've got box sets. I've got DVDs. Just a lot of things. Shirts, if I haven't mentioned that. But I'll post this as a video response to that, basically adding on to it. So if you want to check that out, go for it. 8 out of 10. I am Midnight Strike 3625. Keep calm and rock on.